Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Southern Dirt. My name is Summer and today I'll be giving you an update of my Central Florida food forest. We have over 125 fruiting trees on our property, along with a newly planted Seminole pumpkin patch, it's raining on me, along with a 1,100 square foot garden. But today we'll jump in to showing you all the fruit trees and show you how they have been doing the past couple months. So here's our vineyard and mulberry patch that I propagated all of our mulberries from our mother tree. And we have our pumpkin patch. And then I'll move into all of our other fruiting trees on our property. But we recently trimmed back these mulberries. We've actually trimmed them back twice since my last video, hoping to get another harvest. Actually, before we went on our last vacation, they were just starting to bud and we came back and the birds and squirrels devoured them. Over here is our vineyard. I finally have gotten some of the vines to come up and get onto our top wire. I'll show you. Here is one of them. Basically, when we bought these, we bought them bare root. And if I could do it all over again, I would buy established plants because they're really finicky in the hot Florida sun and they didn't take as well. So here we have basically trained our muscadines to grow up. We have all kinds of different varieties. I have, I'm sure at some point I'll list them, but if we could do it all over again, we would stick with our Southern Home variety. They seem to be doing the best. Those were the only ones that we bought established in pots, and the rest of them were bare root, and we've lost a lot of them, but we have kind of cut them back, and some of them are starting to actually regrow again. At all, we weren't successful on this vineyard. We would plant fruit trees, so we've got about a couple rows that are doing decent, and we're gonna just see what happens this summer, and then we can always propagate more fruit trees from our food forest and plant them here. Over here we have a lot of citrus trees that my husband has rescued from another property. A lot of them have become sick, but a lot of them have fruit on them. So I'm not gonna really go over all those trees, but I'm just gonna show you highlights. But we do have oranges on a lot of them. Here is my olive tree. I've yet to get any fruit on it, but it is growing to be a beautiful tree. I don't know a lot about olive, but I do know that a lot of citrus farmers are testing olives in Florida to see how they produce. So far mine's doing great. And I actually replaced this with a citrus tree that died. Over here I have a moringa tree. I am going to be starting to sell seeds because I have recently had a few pods that I have let dry. So those probably will come at the end of summer. So look for those. I also have other seeds that I grow here, like my Seminole pumpkins and different seeds that are homegrown. Over here is a variety of all kinds of different citrus trees. These were actually rescued from another property. And we have key lime, Myers lemon, which is my absolute favorite. We just harvested a ton of those back in November and December. We actually just finished our last Myers lemons. We had kept them in the fridge and they were able to keep for quite some time. So that was great. We actually need to come through and cut some of these muscadines. We have wild muscadines growing along our fence, and what's happening is they're coming over and wrapping around our citrus trees. So we're gonna have to do that before we head out on our vacation. And speaking of vacation, if you guys are interested in following a new account that I started, it will just be going over our RV adventure out west. We're gonna be visiting a lot of national parks, including Yellowstone Glacier and Grand Canyon and all in between. But I'll put that link to that Instagram account in the description below. I want to be able to vlog, but I don't know if I'll have time to do that right away. But either way, you guys will have that to look for future videos. This is some kind of variegated lemon, I believe. If you know what that might be, please let me know. We've got some Seminole pumpkins growing under here. I also have my Seminole pumpkin patch up here, which I will show you. This is our mother mulberry tree that we purchased about 8 years ago, or 7 years ago. And this is the main tree that I propagated all of our other mulberry trees. Over here we had papaya trees and they all froze back with our last freeze. I have started more papayas. I just don't know if I'm going to plant them here. I planted a couple of them in my banana forest, which I'll show you in a little bit, in hopes that maybe if we do get another freeze next year, the little microclimate that I got going over there may save that actual papaya plant. So I'm not sure what we're going to plant here. As you can see, weeds are just out of control. We've got some wood chips and mulch that we're going to be putting under all of our trees here soon. We do have a mango that struggled really bad with the last freeze. We just cut it back, but it did come back. I do have dragon fruit here. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it or how I'm going to trellis it. So if anybody has any ideas for me, that would be great. It's actually looking really rough. I finally got around to planting this and I wanted to show you guys. I didn't even notice this, but it's my first dragon fruit flower. I'm so sad I'm gonna be gone when this opens up, but hopefully no squirrels will get it. Maybe we can put something around it. What do you think?
I think what you do with your sunflowers, which is really funny, you put
Yes.
it around a net with it.
Put a net around it. And again, we just have not had much time to tend to our fruit trees and food forests because we have been on vacation this summer. Here's our Barbados cherry tree. We've got all kinds of cherries coming in. Probably a month ago, we had this full, just absolutely the most cherries we'd ever seen on this tree. It was beautiful, just popping red color everywhere. And when I checked on it, it was just full. And then literally the following day, I came out here with the kids to pick our cherries. And we saw 2 squirrels in this tree just devouring them. There was absolutely nothing left. So disappointed, but we're gonna have to take care of our squirrel problem here soon. We do have, this is an avocado tree that my father propagated for me like 8 years ago. And recently it's been struggling. I think what I'm gonna do is top this one. I've never trimmed it back. It started losing a lot of its leaves after the freeze, but I feel like it's been doing better the last couple months, but it did drop a ton of leaves. We got flowers for the first time last year. So here in our vineyard, we have our Seminole pumpkin patch. I just planted these about 2 weeks ago. We've got our first little flower opening up here. And the Seminole pumpkins seem to do best under trees. So this patch right here, probably like the 6th one in, always does the best. And the ones down at the end kind of struggle. They still produce. But these are a wonderful pumpkin to grow in Florida. They're native, and I have the seeds for sale on my website. This will be my 3rd year in production with harvesting the Seminole pumpkins, and they're one of my best sellers. So if you don't have any Seminole pumpkins or you haven't grown any, make sure that you check out those. I also have some videos on how to grow Seminole pumpkins, and I also have a recipe on how you can use Seminole pumpkins as well. So you want to check that out, I have the link in the description below. But I believe this year we had an early freeze or frost, and anything that would have flowered pretty much dropped its flowers. So we'll just see what happens next year. Over here is our guava trees. This is probably one of my favorite trees next to my mulberry because it just produces so much food. We actually have guavas frozen in our freezer still from last year that I plan to make juices and jams out of and pastries. but this tree gives off a ton of fruit. Right now I have closed off my sales for tree cuttings because a lot of our trees are in the fruiting stage. So in the fall, after most of our trees have produced, is when I will start shipping those cuttings. So most likely October, November, I will have my cutting sales back open. I do have seed sales that will be open even while we're on vacation. I'll be taking my seeds with me, and once a week or every other week I'll be shipping. So there may be a little delays, but I will be shipping my seeds during our vacation. This is another mango tree that we thought we lost, but we cut back, and it's actually doing pretty good. Again, this was full of flowers before our last freeze, and we lost all of that fruit. This is a smaller guava. I believe it's a Catalina guava. Usually at this time of year, I have a lot of fruit on this tree. Not sure what's happening, but maybe we'll have some fruit here soon. Over here, oh look, there's some muscadine grapes that are growing here. I've got all my pineapples here. Because we're going to be gone quite a bit this summer, I decided to put little cages around my pineapples just to see if it helps, because usually we'll leave and as soon summertime they're most of the time ready to harvest. So as soon as one gets ate, I mean, the animal is coming back and taking one out every single day. So all it's going to take is a few days to take care of all my pineapples. So thought I would put this little metal screen around it and see how they will do. And I've got little stakes in here holding that screen in the ground. Over here is our Loquat Tree, which gives us a ton of food. Right now it's not in the flowering stage. More pineapples. I just did not have time to cover all the pineapples. Here's another mango tree. Again, we thought we lost this one, but we cut it back and it's got new growth. We've got a fig tree here. So here in our vineyard, we have our Seminole pumpkin patch. I just planted these about 2 weeks ago. We've got our first little flower opening up here, and the Seminole pumpkins seem to do best under trees. So this patch right here, probably like the sixth one in, always does the best, and the ones down at the end kind of struggle. They still produce, but these are a wonderful pumpkin to grow in Florida. They're native, and I have the seeds for sale on my website. This will be my third year in production with harvesting the Seminole pumpkins, and they're one of my best sellers. So if you don't have any Seminole pumpkins or you haven't grown any, make sure that you check out those. I also have some videos on how to grow Seminole pumpkins, and I also have a recipe on how you can use Seminole pumpkins as well. So you want to check that out. I have the link in the description below. So here is our banana forest. This is actually on the neighboring property that we own next to ours. And we have them on our entrance way all the way back here. These guys did freeze back on our last hard freeze, but they all survived. They all are coming back. I've got beautiful pods coming down. You can see little ones popping up in here. Also, I have planted, ooh, look at this. So here's my little microclimate I am testing and seeing if it will work. But I did plant a papaya back here. And where's my mulberry? I have a mulberry back here. Oh, there he is. Right there. Just gonna see how this area will work if we get a freeze. So we'll see come this winter if this one will last. But I think we've got enough trees here to kind of help. And we do have some water right here in the back, which is why these do so well. I don't do anything with these trees. They just are on their own. I recently planted some potatoes back in the corner here where we have another variety of bananas. My husband actually was doing a dock for a customer and they didn't want their banana trees. So he called me up and said, hey, do you want some more banana trees? I said, absolutely, because I don't even know what kind of variety we have, but we harvest tons of these bananas. We make all kinds of dishes. Our kids eat them, and look at this banana. It's a little grouping right there. Oh, it's awesome. So we have several trees that are different varieties than what was already here on the property over here. And there's all kinds of stalks coming down. So I planted some potatoes right under these trees not too long ago, and forgot to tell my husband that we had some potatoes planted, and he just like mowed over this area. Anyways, long story short about that, I have planned to put sweet potatoes somewhere, but I'm gonna put it in an area where my husband will not mow and kind of let it just be wild. So check out this patch that's just dropped. Oh, these are so beautiful. And if anybody knows the variety of these, please let me know. The people who had them didn't know either. There's a little muck bunny over here. This is where we have our sugar. So this is where we have our sugar cane patch. It's at the end of season, so we actually didn't harvest much of these at all. I did sell quite a bit of them for cuttings several months ago. So I'm curious to know if you bought any fruit tree cuttings from me and you've had success. Please let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have been dreaming about starting your own food forest, please tell me what you would like to grow in the comments below. So this was actually already here on the property when we bought it. Here are elderberries that we have growing wild everywhere on our property. We just literally could start a business selling elderberries. We harvest elderberries every summer and I save them and we make elderberry syrup. I also sell cuttings, but I'm not selling them at this time because they are in the flowering stages and fruiting stages. But they are absolutely wonderful to have on hand if anyone in your family is sick. It will cut a cold or flu in half and also keep the cold and flu away. If you have a family member that's already sick and you want to boost everybody's immune system, we will start drinking it right away. My daughter recently had a cough that just would not go away, and I started giving her elderberry every day, and she cleared up her cough. We did not have to go to the doctor. We don't like going to the doctor. We try to do everything holistically with our family unless we absolutely have to, but I swear by elderberry. So if you are starting a food forest and you do not have elderberry, definitely recommend getting some elderberry on your property. I also wanted to show you elderberry flowers because they're absolutely beautiful. Every so often we'll come out here and just cut a few and bring them in the house. Look at how pretty they are. They make beautiful bouquets. And thought I'd show you these because you could probably identify these in the woods and off the side of the road. I just bought a foraging book that I will put in the link below. And I've been learning about mushrooms and all kinds of edibles that you can harvest in nature throughout the US. So I'm really excited to be taking that on our out west tour. I'm going to be teaching the kids and homeschooling them on the road. So this will be kind of a new journey for me. So if you guys are interested in seeing that book, I will link it in the description below. And here are our blueberries. We have about 50 of them wrapping our 1,100 square foot garden. So if this is the first time you're watching my video, I also do video tutorials and tours on my gardening channel, which is right here. So make sure you're subscribed to get updates and get some gardening hacks and whatnot. But we just trimmed these back. These are called emerald blueberries. They bloom twice a year and they are absolutely beautiful. And here is our wild growing blueberry. And I was so excited to see this on our property. Most of them have been harvested, but here's just a tiny one. I don't do anything to this tree. It is just growing wild on our back property. I did start selling cuttings this year, and though on vacation these next 30-45 days, I will not be shipping any cuttings, most likely until the fall. So excited. So my husband recently mowed back here, and as I'm turning around in the golf cart, I realized that I have more wild blueberries. I've been searching our whole property for more wild blueberries, and I have them literally right over the fence. This is actually our property. Both are our property, but this is where our house is. Our house, you can see right peeking through here. So I'm so excited. I've got some more wild blueberries. There's also some more back here and around this way. So I'm sure if I start tracking through here, I'll find some more. And it's actually inspiring me to want to walk back more and find some more over here. We got a few key limes up there. One of our more healthier citrus trees. We've got a lot on this particular one.